Hi, welcome. This is my favorite practice. This practice is our traditional Saturday morning practice, and I call it deep and delicious yoga. And most of the time we will be, well, all of the time we'll be on our mat and we'll be lying down, we'll stay close to the ground. There probably will be no standing poses. So join me. It's a really yummy practice. So we start this practice lying down. So just get comfortable on your mat. Lie down. And before you make yourself really comfortable, why don't we stretch long? So extend the arms and the legs and stretch through the fingers and through the toes. Maybe lift up one leg and one arm, then the other leg and the other arm, and maybe just lie for a moment. I'm just arriving on my mat. I'm just arriving in my yummy, deep, and delicious yoga practice. And so when you're ready, you can bend the knees and maybe let the knees rest against each other, the feet about hip distance apart, but the knees are resting against each other, constructive rest pose. Sometimes it feels really good to let your hands rest on your belly and just take several deeper inhales and sigh them out. As you're allowing yourself to arrive, you might bring to mind one thing that you're grateful for in this moment. Just one thing. Maybe it's that you had a really delicious cup of coffee this morning. Or maybe it's that the weather is gorgeous outside, or maybe it's something else. I've been thinking all day of the quote by Henry Nguyen. Gratitude goes beyond the mine and thine and proclaims the fact that all of life is a gift. Gratitude goes beyond the mine and thine and proclaims the fact that all of life is a gift. So take a moment and bask in this gift of your life. Turning your awareness to feeling grateful really switches the mind from wanting and needing to rejoicing and being thankful. With your hands on your belly, notice your breath. And perhaps your gratitude is for your breath that is with you always. And perhaps begin to deepen the breath so that you're inviting the inhale to fill the belly. And as you exhale, empty the belly as completely as you can. Filling the belly as you breathe in. Emptying the belly as you breathe out. And perhaps the breath is becoming a little deeper and slower on its own accord. So you might move one hand to the rib cage, keeping one hand on the belly, and then feel the breath come into the belly, moving up towards the rib cage, And then emptying all the way back out. Navel draws in towards the spine and slightly up towards the heart. Letting the breath fill the belly, moving up into the rib cage, expanding the rib cage to all sides. As you exhale, navel draws in towards the spine and slightly up towards the heart. Filling belly, rib cage, emptying as completely as you can. Never forcing or over-efforting the breath, just invite your breath. And then if you like, bring one hand to the top of the chest. And then filling the belly, letting the breath move up towards the rib cage and maybe up towards the chest. And then exhale from the top all the way back to empty. You might even begin to notice some movement. There might be a rocking forward as the belly fills, the pelvis rocks forward. And as you empty, the pelvis rocks back, the lower back comes back in contact with the floor. Can you just luxuriate in your breath for these moments? Just noticing the wave motion of your fluid breath helps to calm the mind and bring the mind into this moment right here, right now. After the next deep exhale, you can bring the hands down alongside the thighs. Maybe just begin to gently turn your head side to side, softening the neck. So again, this practice is going to stay very slow and very gentle. And you can always even rest more than I'm guiding, or do more than I'm guiding. So make it your practice. And if you feel like today that you just want to lie on your mat while I guide us through this practice, that's okay too. Everything's wonderful, just the way you need it, just the way you want it. So now bringing the knees apart, arms alongside the body. Ground your feet into the earth and maybe take a moment to feel the support of the earth under your feet. Notice again your breath. And on the next inhale, lift the right arm all the way up and over, maybe turning the head towards the left. The left ear comes down towards the ground. And as you exhale, the head comes back to center. The right arm releases back down. At the pace of your breath, left arm lifts up, maybe head turns towards the right. And then left arm comes back down alongside the hips as the head returns to center, continuing to alternate. Again, at the pace of your breath might be moving faster or slower than I'm guiding. Lifting left arm, head turns towards the right. On the next inhale, lift both arms up and over as far as they want to come, and then bring the arms back down alongside the body. And let's do that one more time. Both arms stretch up and bring them back down. And the next time the arms come overhead, just leave them overhead behind you as far as they want to come for a few breaths. And if you like, you can stretch out the legs as well. And again, just like we did at the very beginning, elongate from the right fingers to the right heel, and then from the left fingers to the left heel.
Release any letting go breaths. And then on the next inhale, invite your right knee to come in towards the chest. Maybe lift up the arms to clasp the right thigh or the right shin. Maybe your head wants to lift up as well. And then exhale, release the leg long, bring the arms overhead again. Pause for a full deep inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, left leg lifts up, arms lift up, clasp the left leg. Maybe your head drifts up, but fit it to your breath. Release the leg. When you're ready, arms come back overhead. Take another deep inhale and exhale. And then let's move at the pace of the breath. So inhale, bring the right knee in, hug it in. Again, you can lift up the head or not, whatever feels good for you. And then keep moving. On the next inhale, the left leg lifts up. And then you're stretching long as you exhale. Make these movements as slow and deliberate and luxurious as you can. So there's no should. There's only this attitude of feeling your body stretching, awakening, opening a little bit. One more time each side. Again, you don't have to lift up the head. For me, it feels really good. For you, it might not. So do what your body wants to do. That's my invitation for you for this practice today. Try not to, next time the leg is extended and the arms are overhead, just pause. So try not to come into any of those shoulds. So this is not about what you should be doing. This is what does my body want to do right now. We're not accustomed to thinking like that, and we're not accustomed to moving like that. So let's make this a practice of really tuning in. Bring the legs a little bit wider, so they can be mat distance apart or wider or just hip distance apart. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms facing down. Again, notice your breath, deep, full breaths. On the next deep exhale, let the knees drift over to the left, the right, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe turn your head in the opposite way. And just pause for a moment. Soften the top hip. So whatever, if your legs are to the right, then soften the left hip. Soften both shoulder blades, the backs of the arms. Inhale, knees and head back to center. And then let your knees drift over to the other side, whatever side that is. Keep the opposite shoulder on the ground. And breathe. Adding a gentle smile to your face also tells the body and the nervous system that you're just having a good time here. And then let knees come back to center and then just drift side to side. Knees to the right, head to the left, and back to center, and the knees to the left, head to the right. Make your movements as slow and deliberate as you can. So by really slowing down your movements, you're giving the nervous system a chance to release as well. If you were to make these movements fast and even kind of jerky side to side, then your brain would get more active too. And we're just kind of, imagine your brain is asleep and you're not wanting to wake it up. So move that gently and slowly. Wouldn't that be nice if our brain went to sleep sometimes? Breathe. And the next time the knees are into center, bring the knees into the chest. You can curl up into a low ball. You can again lift the head, or if that doesn't feel good for you, keep the head down. Keeping the knees hugged in, maybe circle the knees so you're giving your lower back a little massage. Every time you remember, come back to what are you grateful for? Maybe there's something else that's coming up for you now that you might be grateful for. And then keep the knees into the chest. Bring the arms out to the sides again. And bring your arms a little bit closer to the hips than the shoulders. So not at shoulder height or higher, but rather lower. And maybe even tuck the shoulder blades under a little bit across the upper back. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Let your knees drift over to the right as far as they want to come. But keep the left shoulder on the ground. And inhale the knees back to center, and then exhale the knees to the left, keeping the right shoulder on the ground. Inhale back to center. So you can stay and just bring the knees side to side, keeping the opposite shoulder on the ground. Or if you like, as the knees are to the right, bring the left arm across towards the floor on the right side, and then sweep the left arm back over towards the left. And maybe do that one more time if that feels good for you. Your knees might be hovering like mine, and breathe, or you can release the knees if that doesn't feel good. It's like you're opening the wing of your left arm. The next time the left arm comes down, bring the knees back up. Maybe pause for a moment at center. Might be wiggling side to side like I am. And then when you're ready, the knees drop over towards the left. Again, my knees are still hovering. You can stay here or turn the right palm up and then bring the right arm all the way across to the left. And then sweep it back to the right at your own pace. There's a little bit of pressure on the left hand to keep my body supported. Or again, you can feel free to let your knees come all the way down. The next time the right arm comes down, bring the knees back to center. And again, hug them in. Maybe again, lift up the head. And bring the feet back to the mat, keeping the knees bent. Bring the arms alongside the hips, palms facing down. And then on the next inhale, lift the hips up as high as they want to come. Your belly up to the sky. And then slowly, with control, bring the hips back down. Moving at the pace of your breath and moving as slowly as you can. Don't fight the gentle flattening of the neck as the hips lift. And if you like, you can add the arms. Like we lifted and lowered the arms before, you can lift the arms up and overhead as the hips lift. And then the arms and the hips come back down. See if they can land at the same time. I didn't quite make it. And just stay with your breath. Just play with, imagine these are just lazy stretches to wake up your body. If you'd rather just lift the arms or just lift the hips, or alternate lifting arms and hips, again, make it your practice. If you'd rather just be lying on your mat, that's okay. It's perfect. Maybe one more. And the next time the arms and hips come back down, pause for a moment. And maybe again, bring the knees into the chest. And then roll to the right and curl up in fetal position on your side, just for a moment to arrive on your mat. And then press into that left hand and come up to
sitting, let's just sit for a moment. So you might sit cross-legged if that works for you, or another way that feels good for you. And then bring the hands close to the hip crease. So right where the hips meet the tops of the thighs, and then press down into that hip crease to get taller. Notice your breath. And then bring the arms to the sides. Just let them hang like you're making an A-frame with your arms. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, lean a little bit towards the left, and then inhale back to center. And then as you exhale, lean a little bit towards the right elbow can soften, and come back to center. And just come side to side, very gentle kind of side leans. And if it would feel good for your body, the next time you lean over to the left, right arm floats up and over. You can even hang out on this side for a few breaths. Soften the left elbow. Breathe and smile. Let go of striving. So you're just kind of hanging out. Maybe circle the right hand at the wrist like you're waving to somebody, and reverse the circle. Soften the left shoulder. Breathe into the right side of the rib cage. Inhale, back up. And then the left arm lifts up maybe as you lean over to the right. You don't have to lift the arm if that doesn't feel good for you. Soften the right elbow, keep the shoulders in the same plane as each other. And if you like, again, circle that left wrist. Soften the right shoulder. Reverse the circles. And return back to sitting. Pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. Bringing the hands in front of you. Start to walk the fingers away. And you might back up a couple of times to lengthen the spine. Keep the spine long as much as you can. And when you can no longer keep the length in your spine, then fold forward. So you might be sitting up and just rounding over like this, and that's fine. If it's available to you, you can bring the forearms and hands down. But again, you're not forcing, you're not over-efforting. Your body is different than mine, and this is not the way my pose looks is only perfect for me right now, not for you, and not for anyone else, because everybody's different. Stay with your breath. So you're really softening into it. Maybe gently lift and lower the head a little bit if that feels good for you, or stay still. And then press into the hands to slowly come back. So use the arms like pillars to help you come back up. And then bring the hands behind you, lean back, bring the feet in front of you onto the floor or your mat. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right, the left hip comes across. Again, lazy, slow movements. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, knees to the left, right hip comes across. And just stay with these really kind of nice, gentle stretches. Unless your body wants to move faster, then of course you can. And come back to sitting, and now recross the legs. And if you remember which leg was to the front, bring the other leg to the front. So probably if you've just crossed your legs, you probably want to recross them, because you've probably been on the other side, or you've probably been on that side, whatever. Let's do that forward fold again. Fingers in front of you, walk the fingers away. Again, you might be way up here and then rounding over, and that's fine. So just round and soften. If you're still exploring how long your spine can be and for how long you can keep your spine long,
then release whenever you're ready. Imagine filling the rib cage on the back, the sides, and the front with each breath. And slowly walk the hands back in, come back upright, and pause for a moment. And let's come into a twist. So bring the arms out to the sides and then sweep the left hand to the right thigh, right hand behind you. Inhale, unwind arms out to the side, and then sweep the right hand to the left thigh, left hand behind you. Inhale, unwind arms out to the side and wind to the right. Inhale, unwind arms out to the side, wind to the left. And the next time we come over to the right, let's pause on that right side and get taller by pressing into the right hand, the back hand. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Soften both arms so you're not really striving through the arms so much, at least the left arm. Maybe you can look a little bit more towards the right shoulder. And then slowly bring the head, stay in the twist, but bring the head forward and maybe look over the left shoulder. And then if you like, you can wind the head back to look towards the right shoulder. And stay here, deep, full breaths. Can you feel the breath, not just in the left side of the rib cage, but in the right side of the rib cage as well? Inhale, unwind, hands to thighs or shins. And when you're ready, bring the right hand to the left thigh, left hand behind you. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, slowly start to wind the spine, looking towards the left shoulder. Breathe. Maybe you can look towards the left shoulder a little more. And then bring the head back to center. Never force the neck. Bring the head to look towards the right shoulder, maybe. And then slowly as you can, look towards the left shoulder and pause here. Unwind, pause. And then come on to hands and knees, come into table position. Take a moment to arrive in table. Feel your breath. Feel your hands splaying out across the mat. And as the inhale finds you, let the chest come forward, tailbone up, belly low. And as the exhale comes in, then round the spine away from the mat, coming into cat tilt. Inhale into cow or dog tilt, whatever your tradition calls it. And exhale into cat tilt. Undulating the spine between flexion and extension. When you're in cow or dog tilt, imagine widening the sits bones, the bottom of the buttocks, so you're building space in that area, and then tucking the tailbone under as you come into cat tilt, widening the back between the shoulder blades. A few more cat and cows. You can make them very slow or a little bit faster. You can make them very gentle.
or a little more, a little deeper. Inhale back into table and then make your way into child's pose. And maybe for this child's pose, keep the knees close together or even closer together for now. You can stack your fists to make a pillow for your head, or you can just stack your hands to make a pillow for your head. Now imagine your breath is traveling up and down your spine. And from here, lift the chest a little bit. Bring the left elbow under the shoulder and the left forearm perpendicular to the side of the mat. And then maybe the right arm lifts up and over, and then bring the right arm back down. Place the right arm down, and the left arm lifts up to the side. And reverse, let the left elbow come down. And just, again, lazy stretches side to side. Well, next time the left arm comes down, make your way all the way down onto the belly. Come down onto the abdomen. And let's do gecko arm cobra. So the hands are outside of the borders of the mat and they're at chest level. And you're up on fingertips, so your hands are cupped. Lengthen your spine. Press your pelvis down into the ground. Imagine your pelvis and your thighs are getting heavier. And then imagine there's a helium balloon blowing up under your chest so that your chest rises and your head follows. And then lengthen as you come down. So slowly as you can, getting longer through the top of the head. Inhale. Let the chest and head rise up. So these are not like push-ups, and you're not really efforting. You're imagining that it's buoyancy that lifts and lowers your torso, your pelvis, and your thighs stay heavy. The next time you come down onto the belly, you can rest on your belly. Either make a pillow with the hands for the head, or if you don't have any neck issues, turn the head to one side and bring the arms alongside the thighs. If it would feel good, bend the knees, windshield wiper feet side to side. Keep the feet going as long as you like, or release them. And if your head is turned to one side, gently turn the opposite cheek to the mat. And maybe come back to this idea of gratitude. What else are you grateful for? Is something else coming into your consciousness now? Bring the head back to center, the hands alongside the chest. Gather the belly in, come up into table and into extended child. Keep the arms to the front. Pull your hips back towards your heels and lengthen from the tailbone to the fingertips or to the wrists. Breathe. Breathe into the space under the arms. And then slowly walk the hands in. And if it works for you, you can sit on your heels. And if that doesn't feel good to you, then just come up into a high kneeling pose, whatever feels good for you. Bring the arms to the sides, just like we did when we were sitting cross-legged. And then as you inhale, lift the left arm up, bring it alongside the left ear. And then walk the right fingers out to the side a little bit. You can lean over to the right a little bit and breathe. And then if you like, sweep the left arm in front of the knees and over to the left. Maybe even look to the left.
And then sweep it back to the right. Stay with your breath. Now, if you're up on high on your knees and this isn't working for you, then find something else that feels good for you. Make up your own movement. Or come back into child's pose or do something different that feels luscious to you right now. The next time the left arm comes to the left, come back to sitting on your heels or kneeling upright. And then lean the left arm out to the side. If you like, bring the right arm alongside the right ear. And if you want to add the movement, sweep the right arm in front of the knees and over to the right, and then sweep it back in front of the knees and over to the left. And the next time the right arm comes over to the right, come back in onto hands and knees, table position. Bring the arms a little bit wider, and you can try the best distance for your knees. I'm not sure. It might feel good to bring the knees wider or keep them closer, and start to make small circles leading with the pelvis. So small pelvic circles. Just drawing a circle in the air with your pelvis. And you can stay quite small or just let your circles get bigger so that your hips are now drawing the circles rather than the pelvis. Hammocking your belly down towards the mat as you're coming to the front, coming all the way to the one side and maybe even towards the tops of the feet in the back. Again, there's no right or wrong. There's only what feels good for your body. Find a turnaround point and reverse your circles. And come back to table position. And then sit. Bring your bottom down. And sweep the legs in front of you. Remove the flesh from the sits bones. Sitting tall. Bring your right knee into your chest. And maybe imagine you haven't seen the right knee in a while and you're really happy to see it. You can even give it a little kiss. Hey there, knee, how are you doing? You can wrap the left elbow around the right shin. Keep the left foot flexed. And then sweep the right arm behind you and just let the fingertips land and look towards the right shoulder. Breathe. Soften both shoulders away from the ears. And then sweep the right arm back. Hug the right shin in with the right hand, and then the left arm sweeps to the side. We're going to do a little counter twist. Left fingertips touch the ground behind you. You can be closer to your hips or farther away, whatever feels good for you. Keep getting longer by pressing down into the sits bones and lengthening up through the spine. And unwind. Sweep both arms behind you, bend both legs, and bring the legs wide again. Let knees, windshield wiper, side to side. This time, if you like, let the opposite arm come across. Can again be moving very, very slowly or start to move a little faster if that feels good for you.
if you're feeling really energetic this morning, or a little energetic this morning, next time the knees are to the right, lift the hips and sweep the left arm in front of the face, and then sweep the left arm down, bring the hips back down, let the knees drift over to the left, and then bring the left arm down, bring the hips up, sweep the right arm alongside the right ear. So you can do that a couple of times if you like, or just, again, other option is to just let knees windshield wiper side to side. And the next time the knees are to the right, if you want to take that little twist, bring the left hand to the floor behind you, and then walk both hands a little bit, or walk both hands a little bit over to the left. If it's available to you, you can come down onto forearms, but don't force, so you can be up on with your elbows not bent, and breathe. You can let your head drop. This is one of my favorite twists. Whenever you feel ready, push into both hands, sweep the left arm across, knees go over to the left. I keep having to pull my shirts down. And again, come into that twist, bringing both hands behind you and walking them maybe a little bit to the right. If it works for you, you can let the forearms and elbows come down or not. Listen to your body. The breath is still washing up and down your spine. Imagine your breath is kind of a cleaning machine inside of you, and just it's cleaning away all the cobwebs. And slowly unwind. Extend the legs long again. Sit tall, maybe remove the flesh from the sits bones. Bring the left knee into the chest. Hug it in, and since we gave a kiss to the right knee, hello knee, I have to kiss the left knee so it doesn't feel left out. Right foot stays flexed. Wrap the right elbow around the left shin. Left arm comes to the front. And then wind the left arm behind you. You can again let the fingertips come down. Your hand can be closer to your hips or farther away. See if you can keep the right foot active, so your right foot is flexed like you're standing on an invisible wall. Breathe. Breath still traveling up and down the spine. Shoulder blades melting down towards the ground. Imagine the shoulder blades could drop onto the mat. Sweep the left arm to the front, wrap the left elbow around the left shin, right arm to the front, and then wind the right arm behind you as far as it wants to go. Again, you're not forcing or over efforting. You can look to the right. Breathe and smile. And unwind. Bring both hands behind you, stretch both legs out long now, and maybe pump the knees a little bit. And then come back to sitting. Remove the flesh from the sits bones. Bring your right knee into the chest, and this time bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. And now turn your belly towards the left thigh. So it's like your navel has a headlight in it and it's shining towards the left toes. The hands to either side of the left leg. I'm up on fingertips. You might have longer arms than me. Get long by pressing down into the sits bones, down and out through the left heel. And keeping your spine long as you can, start to walk the fingers forward. So your navel is coming a little bit closer to the left thigh, but you're lengthening rather than folding. And again, just like we did before, you might back off a few times, just like we did in that forward fold when we were sitting. And then keeping your spine long as you can. When you've come to your edge, then round forward. So again, you might be sitting up here and then softening and rounding forward. So don't over effort, don't force. You might even keep a gentle bend in the left knee so that you're not hyperextending the knee. Breathe. Soften forearms, soften elbows, soften face. Try not to bounce or pull or effort. Surrendering will bring you much further than striving will. When you're ready, press into the hands. Walk the hands back in. Maybe bring the hands behind you again and stretch the right leg long. Maybe circle the feet at the ankles. I'm watching a bird take a bath in the bird bath, and it's the cutest thing. I wish you could see it. And reverse the circles. Nature is really keeping us going right now, isn't it? I know it is for me. There it is again. Bring the left knee in, and then bring the left foot to the right thigh. Lengthen, press into the sits bones. Turn your navel to shine towards the right thigh, keeping the right foot flexed. Stay tall, and then start to slowly fold over that right thigh. Again, stay at your edge. Don't force your body to come more than it wants to today. I'm just kind of cycling back and forth a little bit to explore the edge. I'm kind of flirting with my edge. And then when I find my edge, then I release and let go. Again, softness is the aim here and not efforting. Slowly push into the hands, come back up. And then bring the right knee, use your hands to bring the right knee into the chest. Let's do butterfly. So bringing your feet, the soles of your feet together, you can again remove the flesh from the sits bones. And your feet can be any distance that feel from the pelvis that feels good for you. They can be in closer, they can be further away. And then just round, this time don't lengthen, just kind of round forward and hang. If you have blocks or a pillow or something, this is a good place to use some props. Actually, I'm going to rest my forearms on my shins, so I'm not efforting. And breathe. Soften. So we're going to stay here for several moments. And again, rather than striving or wondering how you can get deeper, let it
more, let it evolve more organically, so that by softness, by surrendering, come into the meat of the pose, the juice of the pose. So this is a yin posture, and yin postures are long held postures where we soften rather than strive. This is another place, instead of efforting or wondering how you can do more or how you can endure whatever you're feeling, maybe you can become aware of something that you're grateful for. And maybe you're just really grateful for being on your mat today. For the therapy, the release, the reassurance. A very, very slow yoga practice can bring to your mind, to your body, to your spirit. Soften the face, soften the tongue. The roof of your mouth is doming away from the tongue. So stay here longer if this feels really nourishing to you. You can hang out here for even 10 or 15 minutes, but don't force yourself to. If you're ready to come out of it, then use your hands, press the hands into the mat and come back up. And then use your hands to bring the knees back up. And then make your way all the way down onto the back. Come down onto the back. And just arrive on your back for a moment. Taking constructive rest pose would be a really good idea right now. Letting knees rest against each other again as a nice counter pose. Or you may still be in that butterfly pose. Wherever you are, can you surrender? Can you release a little more? And as you're releasing, I like to actually bring my hands behind my neck and then massage the back of the neck where the cranium and the neck meet, kind of digging my fingers into that space to create more space. That area holds a lot of tension in many of us. And it feels so good to kind of massage it a little bit. So massage your neck in any way that feels good for you if you want, or keep your hands resting on the belly or out to the sides. If it feels good, you can gently bring the head side to side. Let's finish this delicious, slow practice with legs up the chair, if you like. If you have a chair handy, or if you're near a couch, just slide over to the couch and put your legs up the couch. If you have a chair handy, I'll demonstrate how to use the chair. And if you don't have either one, if you just have some pillows to put under your legs, that would be great. Or just find whatever is comfortable for you for final relaxation. So I have a chair here. And if you also have a blanket or a couple of blankets, that can also be very helpful. So I'm gonna actually pad my chair because it's a hard folding chair, but you might actually have a cushiony chair to put your legs up on. I'm taking another blanket to put over my belly. And then I'm gonna sit on the mat and get really close to the chair, get my bottom really close to the chair, and then bring my legs on the chair. See, with this chair, I can actually pull it closer, but if you're next to a couch, just scoot your bottom back until your thighs are kind of perpendicular to the floor. Can again make space in your neck and in the space where the cranium and the neck meet. If you have a little pillow, you might put a little pillow under your head. And if you have you can either cover yourself up with a blanket, or I like to keep the blanket folded up and just drape it over my thighs, my belly and my thighs, and that feels so delicious. Feel free to make any other adjustments. Maybe it would feel good to gently bring your head side to side. Maybe you're too far away from the couch or the chair and you need to scoot yourself a little bit closer. Let the knees drop away from each other a little bit so you're not holding your legs. Your hands can rest on your belly or out to the side, whatever feels most nourishing to you. This is truly one of this whole practice has been so slow and yummy. I love to move like that. And legs up the chair is truly one of the poses I always forget about because it's just so therapeutic. Legs up the chair is wonderful for circulation. It can help relieve anxiety. And these times, many of us who aren't even used to having anxiety or feeling anxiety, we've been under stress for such a long period of time that often our nervous systems have forgotten how to release. We're kind of stuck in that stress response, in that fight, flight, or freeze mode. And legs up the chair and deep breathing, deep, slow exhales helps to counteract that. This is also a deep release of the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle is a muscle that becomes activated when we're under stress. So right now you're releasing that psoas muscle. You're sending a message to the brain that everything is under control. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Imagine the earth is rising up to support you. Imagine your whole spine is resting on the earth. Your whole whole spine is resting on the earth. Your shins, your calves, your feet are fully supported by the chair. Your bottom is resting on the earth. Any remaining tension in the thighs, it's flowing like a river down towards the ground, down towards the hips and into the ground. Let that river of your thighs flow down into the belly and liquidate the belly. Liquid ocean belly. Liquid ocean breath. Your lungs and your heart are resting on the earth. Your arms, hands, and fingers are supported by the earth. Collarbones on the front of the chest are melting into the shoulder blades across the upper back. And the shoulder blades are melting into the ground. Your liquid ocean breath is rippling your liquid ocean belly. Your liquid ocean breath is rippling your liquid ocean belly. Your whole head is resting on the ground. Bring your awareness to a spot just behind your ears or under your earlobes. And then imagine your jaw is like a marionette's jaw dropping open. The roof of your mouth, the upper palate, forming a dome away from the tongue, widening away from the tongue. You might even imagine the roof of your mouth opening like a window. Your eyelids resting on your eyes, space between your eyes is widening. Eyes dropping towards the back of the head, onto the ground. Your liquid ocean breath is still washing up and down the spine. Imagine the breath, your liquid ocean breath, softening everything in its path. Softening the entire length of the spine. Softening the thighs. Pelvis dropping onto the ground. We soften the face between the jaw joints. Trust that the earth is supporting you completely. Imagine a spacious blue sky overhead. Spacious blue sky. Wide blue sky. Imagine your heart widening like that spacious blue sky. Imagine your mind widening like that spacious blue sky. Liquid ocean breath. Liquid ocean belly. Stay here as long as you like. You might want to stay a few more moments. I'm going to leave you so that you can either finish your practice now or when you're ready, finish your practice. So thanks for joining me today. I'm so glad you could
Join me. And as always, namaste.